got my ass chewed. I didn't know what I did wrong, but I got my ass chewed for that.
Yeah.
But like they like fixed it, and like eventually when I hit the fleet, I got my hunt name tags finally. That was a big deal. All right, welcome to episode 1 of Ridgeside Radio with Mike Swarchak of Ridgeside K9 Eastern Carolina, the owner, big boss man down here, and myself, Gregory Hunt, Ridgeside K9 Eastern Carolina trainer, and the co-owner of Ridgeside K9 Dog Training Supplies. Just two guys here, 2 trainers. We're going to be talking about a lot of dog stuff today. We're going to talk about ourselves and where this is going.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing, just to preface it, is this isn't just a dog training podcast, right? It's not for trainers by trainers. We'll talk about training. We'll talk about whatever we want. But it's for your average dog owner. Just little tips, tricks, what you can learn, things you're doing right, things you're doing wrong, how you can just grow and evolve the relationship with you and your dog. And then we'll talk about whatever else we want to talk about. Because why not?
Got a lot of history, a lot of experience between us.
Yeah, so let's start here. How'd you get into this? Let's shoot this for the 18th time because we've had technical difficulties.
So myself, getting into dog training, everyone always asks, like, what did you, do as a kid? Like, did you have dogs? Did you grow up wanting to be dog-related job or whatever? For me, not that way. I didn't, like, grow up rescuing dogs and doing all that kind of stuff. I came from a single-family home, only child home, where we didn't have a dog at all.
Don't hide the fact that you're from New Jersey.
Yeah, also from New Jersey. That's a pertinent part of this, just to know that I'm trash. And, early on in life, like I said, I didn't have a dog. I always wanted one. I just never got one. I kind of wanted a husky as a kid. I thought that was a cool looking dog. We'll get into poor life decisions and poor life choices on what kind of dog you shouldn't get later on. But yeah, I grew up wanting to do more, wanting to, challenge myself more. So I figured the only way to do that was join the military. Walked right into the recruiter's office, and I walked right past the Marine Corps because I was too scared. I was like, I'm going right by. But then I was like, no, don't be a pussy. Like, go back over there, enlist, do your thing. So that's what I did. I went back in. I said, hey, I'm here to sign up. And they're like, all right, cool. We have all this paperwork, and we have all these job opportunities for you. What do you want to do? And
It'll be fun.
Yeah. I was like, I was so like bought into propaganda. Like when they asked me, like, I have all these jobs and I have this like paperwork. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm here to sign up. Like, send me to the Marine Corps. They're like, no, like it doesn't work that way. Like you have to have a job. You have to like do this and that. You have to have training. And I was like, oh, whatever. But anyway, I signed up, went to boot camp, early 2010, and I was in the Marine Corps for about 9 or 10 years. And a big part of being in the Marine Corps for me was the leadership aspect of it. I thoroughly enjoyed doing more, changing more, being a part of the solution to whatever the problem was. It's just how my life has always been, wanting to be a part of something, wanting to help people. I found a big passion with that as a martial arts instructor, in the Marine Corps, helping people. It was very physical, very, toxic masculine kind of thing, like going to work and fighting people all day, like for a paycheck, but it was very fun as far as the leadership aspect goes. But ultimately, I'm still 28, 29 years old, had nothing to do with dogs in my life. I was getting out of the Marine Corps, and by happenstance, I started mowing lawns, and I started mowing the lawn of the Ridgeside K9 Carolina's facility. So that was my first time hearing about Ridgeside or really knowing that dog training was a thing, because I never knew it was a profession. Like, I know like what a plumber or an electrician is.
Yeah.
I didn't know that like dog training was a thing. And I've actually ran into a lot of clients who have said the same thing. Like they're dropping their dog off for training, and they're like, I didn't even know if y'all were real. Like I thought this was like a scam, or like I didn't know that dog training was like something you can get paid for. And I was like, well, gee, thanks. I hope you trust us. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do good stuff.
We're here to scam you.
Yeah. But yeah, so push came to shove, and I was mowing the lawn for the facility, and they were eventually looking for an intern, and I said, hey, I don't like mowing lawns. I don't like landscaping. And I don't have any dog handling, dog training skills, but I have a lot of leadership skills. I have a lot of, stress inoculation that I've built up over the Marine Corps, of being able to do hard things that are asked of me and being able to, you know, figure things out. So I got an internship, and over the last 5 years, that internship of not knowing anything about dogs has developed into a lot of aha moments where I've like, oh shit, like dogs don't speak English. Oh shit, you know, there's more than a German Shepherd and a Husky as the only breeds in the world. Like,
Yeah,
and I'm still learning breeds. Like there's, you know, there's still dogs I don't know what they are.
They're still being created.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like just like my plan was to learn as much as possible and to dive into this as much as possible. I've done that. Like I literally got the job or got the internship. I traded in my F-350 for a van so I could, you know, be fully committed to this. And, you know, for the last 5 years.
So you're a typical Marine with like an oversized F-350?
No, it was bone stock. It was not one of the ones that you see driving around base. I resent that. But
it was squatted?
No.
Get that Carolina squat.
Yeah, I'm so glad that's gone now, or mostly gone now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was just fully committed to it. You know, like that's what I've always been about, is whatever the mission is, fully commit, you know, full tilt, run into it and, you know, get it accomplished. So I got the dog van, decked it out with kennels, and I've just been picking up every dog I can, learning all the whole way through. You know, I want to say I used to count and I used to keep track. I feel like over the last several years, I'm somewhere near 500 or 550 about now, just after averaging everything from being an at-home trainer and being a facility trainer. And I know at 1,000 dogs, I'm going to go, holy shit, I didn't know anything at 500 dogs.
Yeah.
And I know at, you know, 5,000 dogs, like I'm like, you know, 10 years from now, it's one of those things where time isn't what gives you the experience. It's the dogs you handle that really gives you that. And then especially the breed and the temperament, because, you know, you can be a trainer of 10 years or 5 years, but if you do one dog a month, or if you do we only train German Shepherds, or we only train dogs that, you know, like food, or we only do this, we only do that. It's very different. Whereas like for us, we take every dog. Like we are here to help people. We're not here to like boost ourselves up. It's
yeah, there's definitely no cherry picking.
Yeah.
Right. I think in the 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this full time, there's only been like 3 dogs that I'm like, training's not an option for this. Right. And every single one of those ended up having neurological issues and was humanely euthanized, and it was the right choice. Mm-hmm. But everybody else can be helped. Yeah. We're not that company that, you know, you have to fill out a 80-question questionnaire and, you know, top priority, the dog has to be happy, confident, and food motivated. And then we're going to make a bunch of Instagram videos and say we're the world's best dog trainer.
I ignore those questionnaires most of the time. Whenever we get our questionnaires, like, Ashley does an amazing job at like client communications. Yeah. But sometimes that dog will show up and all I'll ask is its name. Yeah. Just so I can like at the client's, you know, interaction with me. I know what your dog's name is. Yeah. But like I don't need to know your dog's problems or what their history is, because I'm gonna fix whatever we need to fix, and I'm gonna help your dog.
And even that, you're just gonna take it at face value when you see it.
Yeah. Client's lie.
Yeah. Yes.
Or you're gonna say?
That people misrepresent the truth a lot.
That's a better way to say it.
But you know, clients also sometimes see like a mildly reactive dog, but that's the worst thing they've ever seen. So it's very traumatic for them. But then I see it and I'm like, that's nothing. Like I'm not bleeding, so we're good. What made you guys get into the store for the Ridgeside training supplies?
That was a lot of a combination of Ashley and myself wanting to.
Who's this Ashley chick that you keep mentioning?
Ashley is my fiance. She's another trainer with Ridgeside. She's been here for several years as well, hooking and jabbing with me along the way. Just my absolute rock when it comes to like balancing me out, because, you know, we're not all perfect and we have a very opposite personality type. So she's my other side to this.
She's not a dude.
No, she's not a dude. not a dude named Ashley. But so for the store, that was just a combination of, you know, like I always hate it walking through PetSmart and seeing no pull harnesses. Ugh. I always hate it walking through and seeing my clients have their dogs on a bungee leash or something. Mm-hmm. I'm a very gear centric guy, you know, not like I'm very gear centric. I like gear. It's just fun. It's a hobby to collect gear and use it and whatever. I'm not gonna say like what I would be called, but it's fun. I like gear. I want people to use good quality tools, good quality equipment, because that does matter. You know, it's not
Sure.
It's not that you can't train a dog with a random dollar store leash. You absolutely could, but it makes it easier having better gear.
Well, you can't train 500 dogs with
Yeah.
dollar store leash.
Absolutely. You know, so you want something that's going to last. So having all that knowledge now on the dog gear side, on the dog training gear side, and then clients always asking us, you know, what we recommend to them. Like, hey, like I would give the client my leash at graduation and they would use it. And then at the end of it, they'd be like, where do I get that? Like, I always tell them, like, that's my leash, by the way. Like,
Yeah, give it back.
Yeah, give it back. You need to use your own. And then they would ask where we get that. And then I was always sending links here, sending links there, sending links there. And for us, it was an idea of like, what if we could put all this together and, you know, create a space for clients to be able to come centralized, get all their gear in one place, and then us be able to, you know, have that space also as kind of a open training floor area. Like
Sure.
I always kind of equate it to my dad always took me into, again, this was the 90s. My dad always took me into all the cigar shops as a kid.
Yeah.
But I always remembered like they would sit down in the cigar lounge, you know, like they would go there and you could buy whatever you wanted to, but they would sit down like 7 or 8 guys and just smoke cigars and talk. And I thought like that was a kind of like a cool community, like a kind of cool culture about like cigar aficionados. So I try to push that into the store a lot, is making it a welcome space for people to come in, you know, and we've done that over the last year or so now. Like we have clients, customers, dog enthusiasts, trainers from other companies, like trainers that are like just solo in the area. They come in, they buy our product, they talk to us, they, you know, bring clients in and show clients what leashes to buy. Like, I think we've created a pretty really good space there, you know. And
no,
then,
you definitely have.
And then like also it, you know, Ridgeside being a national thing, it helps clients not just for Eastern Carolina, but everywhere else. You know, we get a lot of, you know, NorCal support, Ohio support, you know, Florida, Virginia support from the customers that they have as well. You know, so just being able to create a tighter community. I feel like what the store does locally and online is it creates a community past the like lifetime service. You know, everyone knows that, like, you know, or all the clients know that Ridgeside offers that good lifetime support for, you know, whatever we need or whatever the client needs. But I feel like having the store, it just creates a little bit of a tighter bond on that.
Yeah, I think, and I'm biased, but we do a good job of it, not only having like the culture in the team, but like that family atmosphere, transferring that to the clients and building the same things. And you see that when we do group lessons and we'll get 20, 30 dogs show up and everybody's laughing, everybody knows each other, everybody knows each other's dogs. And it's like, it's not just a I'm here and present thing. Like everybody's very genuine in the interaction. So that's always just cool to sit back and like watch that from the sidelines and like just admire it. And like that's some stuff we've all built.
I kind of feel like I just didn't really ever think about it until you kind of put it that way now. But from the military mindset of like when you suffer through the suck with somebody,
yeah,
like you have more of a bond with them.
Yep.
You know, all of our clients, like they've all come from that same kind of background where they had a dog that was very reactive or disobedient. Like they suffered through a kind of suck on their own in their own home. So then when they do come out, like I love getting, like the clients are doing whatever it is, but I love putting them near each other and having them talk. And I love just hearing them talk. Like I love hearing the clients talk to each other about like, oh, when did you start training? Oh, like what was your dog like? Oh my God, your dog was like nasty like that. And like now they're here, cool, calm, collected. Like
everybody thinks they have that one dog. But that's, I would say 95% of the dogs that we train cause major issues. And it's not just like, they're not all aggressive. They're just feral, for lack of a better term. And they chew up houses and they just ruin the owners' lives. Yeah. But and everybody thinks it's just, you know, a one-off thing, but it's all over the place.
Yeah. And then like it's the owner education on the back end of it, like teaching them, supporting them through it.
Yeah.
What about you? Where'd you come from?
Well, I came from Virginia.
Yeah.
Right. This time of year. So we're shooting this. What is it? January? Yeah.
Ish.
So it's January and in Virginia there's like 8 inches of snow and it's 10 degrees and it's like 40 something here, so it's way nicer down here in North Carolina. I'm enjoying that.
Absolutely.
10 minutes from the beach, which I thoroughly enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I've been with Ridgeside as a whole for 4 years total. And as of January 2023, I was presented with the opportunity to take this franchise over. And I've enjoyed every minute of it, besides all the gray hair the employees give me. Each of them, and especially my beard now, they're popping up. Everybody's got a name. But prior to that, and I think what, led me to being presented with the opportunity was just the stuff that I did before, whether it was 10 years in law enforcement and contracting, running government contracting, canine training centers. Like, I've been in leadership roles for a very long time. I've dealt with stress and been in the suck and worked through a bunch. So I have a ton of life skills that put me here. And, not only working with thousands of dogs as a pet trainer prior to coming here, but being able to mold all those things and kind of help work with a team is why we're here.
Yeah.
So what type of stuff do you want to talk about on this, since we have free reign?
I mean, I'd say
Even though I have a Black Rifle Coffee mug, we are certainly not sponsored yet by Black Rifle Coffee
or Deathwater. No, I would say that the biggest things that I think we can offer, because, with our experience in life, in the military, in law enforcement, with our experience with dogs, I think it's hard. It's always hard for me as a trainer where I can't reach more than my clients, so I feel like being able to talk with you, talk about this stuff, going forward, talk about dogs, talk about lifestyle stuff with dogs, getting people more understanding of, what it is to be a dog owner and understanding that dogs aren't decorations, being able to dive into, current events or topics or things that are going on in the dog world or in, whatever world we want to insert ourselves into. I feel like we have a lot of opportunity to reach more people than we currently help. And I think that's the biggest thing, is helping out, whoever we can.
Yeah. So you guys will be able to watch this on YouTube, and it'll be released eventually on any place you can find podcasts, Apple, Spotify, whatever. Mm-hmm. We're hoping for that $300 million contract like Joe Rogan's supposed to get. Maybe they'll get rid of Joe for us. Who knows?
Yeah, bring us on.
But importantly, we want feedback from you guys. Always, if there's topics you want us to cover, leave comments, like, share, subscribe, spread the word. Send DMs, we'll answer them. So
yeah, we're right now Ridgeside's on social media. Ridgeside K9 NC, RSK9NC.Greg, RSK9 Training Supplies, Mike Swerchek, Mike_Swerchek. We don't know what his handle is.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah. But yeah. Stay tuned. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good ride.
It'll be something.